Johnathan has called from Waltham Forest. Hello, Johnathan.
Hello, Sheila. Sheila, I was pretty amazed when I saw Tony Blair's name on the guest list of that organisation. I couldn't believe it. Why would he be there? Why would he be there at all?
He's well, I'll tell you why. Who was it who told me this? It'll come back to me. I'll have to remember who it was who told me this, a senior political figure, that Tony Blair is one of the few people who can talk to representatives of the Palestinians one day and be in the office of Benjamin Netanyahu 2 days later for a conversation. And that matters, doesn't it?
I'm not sure it does.
I think it does. Come on.
The name Tony Blair for tens of thousands of people in the Middle East is not a good one, is it? And for some reason, we don't. This is part of the problem. We don't seem to see the contradiction. The man is not a popular man in many parts of Iraq for obvious reasons, and yet he somehow is given a chair at this table. Netanyahu is another one. I'm just astonished. I mean, what is this? Is it genuinely a search for peace? What is it really all about? Where are the Palestinians in this?
No, it's a very good question. And it's a question that my guest on Monday, Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib, who's a Palestinian speaker and writer and activist, put to us here. You know, it's a point he raised as well. The answer is I don't know, Johnathan. But I don't find Tony Blair's presence on it surprising or unusual, and I think it could be useful. And I'm not sure it serves the people of Gaza or Israel or indeed any group that this Board of Peace may in the future go on to help. I don't know. It doesn't serve them for you and me to bring our own old enmities towards particular individuals to play, does it? You know, to bear, because I'm not chiding you when I say that. I'm just saying it's a fact that, you know, if anyone, however distasteful they might be to us, if anyone can move the dial usefully and in a moral good way for that situation, then good. You know?
I mean, although saying what I just said there, I do think Vladimir Putin has a place at the table. I know it sounds a contradiction in terms, but I do think he has a place there.
I think it's arguable, yeah. I mean, it's hard to ask about peace when somebody invaded a country, is still there and refuses to stop waging war on that country. And I've remembered the person who told me this about Tony Blair. It was Jamie Rubin of the Global podcast. And he knows Tony Blair very, very well. He knew him very well when he was a representative in the US government himself. And he said he is a man who knows everybody that you need to know in that part of the world in order to get something done. And that's why he should be on the Board of Peace.
I'm not convinced.
Okay.
I really do believe you need to find somebody else. That name is not a good name when it comes to Middle East. It's not a good name.
But in your head and in your experience and in your view of things, but we don't need to speak to Johnathan in Waltham Forest or Sheila sitting pretty in a studio in London to solve world peace, to solve the Gaza-Israel crisis. We need people who are known on the ground and trusted on the ground.
Hasn't the British presence in the Middle East been a really dark one for more than 200 years? Why do we need a Brit at the table? Why do we need a Brit at the table? Surely there are other groups, other Europeans or Africans or Indians who could.
Well, there are a good number of countries represented in this Board of Peace. It's just not very few of them are European. Make of that what you will. But I don't know. I don't have any problems with Tony Blair being on it. I'd be curious about what role he fully has, whether it's just a connector of people, which it might be, and that's an important role, somebody who can connect people to one another and assist in that dialogue. That's not to be sniffed at, I don't think. Johnathan, I hear what you're saying about your own views of him, but our views of him don't really matter if he can connect people and even contribute one jot to making things easier for the people of that region. Are we right to steer clear of it for now, John?
I think I think it's the right time, and I think it's the right time with Tony Blair, which is one of the reasons I wanted to speak to you today, Sheila.
Yeah.
I'm with you on this one. I think Tony Blair is the right man. I'm a military veteran, and I went to war under Tony Blair's watch. So some people may, question mark or raise their eyebrows to why I'm such a fan. But I've read his book called Leadership. I've, in theory, been led by him into Iraq to war. And I think what he's doing with his institute brings massive credibility to the Board for Peace. Because
for people who might not know, the Tony Blair Institute has focused not exclusively on the Middle East, but heavily on it.
It really has, yeah. And the connections and the network that he has and the change that he's delivered goes relatively unheard. And the Institute has made a massive, massive impact in the Middle East. And I think going back to the point, talking about what Tony Blair can actually bring to the table, I'm going to focus on two main areas. Credibility being the first. Let's be honest. We really do need to raise the credibility of this board, considering the conversations we've had about its makeup. Trump himself being, let's call him an executive chairman. He needs a right-hand man with real credibility, and Tony Blair is the perfect fit for that, in my eyes.
Well, I get the feeling Jared Kushner is his right-hand man, no? On this one?
Well, I think for two different reasons. One, spend money, build infrastructure. The other one, actually...
Political savvy.
Yeah, and nurture a relationship with the key decision-makers and enablers in the region, and that's Tony Blair. I really do think it is. And let's go back to his credibility. Yes, I understand why people raise an eyebrow about his involvement in the Middle East in the past. But let's also not forget that he openly, on record, apologised and acknowledged that in some areas he'd made the wrong decision there.
Well, the Chilcot press conference
yes.
and the Blair press conference that followed was, it was a marathon, wasn't it, his press conference?
It was. But he did put his hand up and realised that he was acting on unfounded intelligence and made a decision in the absence of other decisions, which a lot of people just don't have the stomach for, and he did. So that's my point on credibility. I think with who he knows, what he's done, his institute, I think he brings great credibility, and that can really help Trump. Trump's been heard and quoted that he still wants to chair this board, even when he's not the President of the United States. Who's the man who's going to keep him on the straight and narrow after that? Well, again, I think it's going to be Tony Blair, because if you look at all of the other members that we know have accepted and signed, and those with a penciled question mark next to them, they still need that steadfast credibility to make this an enduring capability.
Yeah, well, it's been good to hear from you, John.
Dave's in Shepherd's Bush. Dave, come on then. What have you got?
Well, I'm just going to change it a little bit, James, because I've got a complaint. Never in my lifetime have I had the desire to follow a speech by that man.
No, I apologise. I should have had a trigger warning.
Thank you so much. Just regarding the other individual, the President of America,
yes.
To me, most of it, if not all of it, it's irrelevant. So, in the sense that the peace plan or the peace team, the peace process, you don't pay £1 million.
It's the FIFA Board of Peace, mate.
But what it is, you don't pay £1 million. You just have to say you will. You turn up, you become part of
a billion.
Is it $1 billion?
Yeah,
you turn
£1 billion.
We're going to pay $1 billion. You do the signing-on ceremony. You sit back and adore the great leader. It's the same with the treaties with the European Union. It's all a signing process. It's all a show. We've got deals with penguins on islands around the world. They're paying tariffs to us. It's amazing.
We're the hottest
country. But most of it, if not all of it, is covering up for whatever he needs covering up for in that moment, in that time. And it's just his narrative. I'm amazing. Everything I do is amazing. But it's just a show or a sham. And sadly, it's gone beyond. I mean, I know you've touched upon about we should laugh at him, but I think we've gone way past that. We tried that before in the early days.
Yeah.
When he came down the escalators, we laughed, and maybe the laughing's maybe for Jimmy Kimmel and Saturday Night Live.
Well, he obviously hates it. I mean, that proves how effective it is, doesn't it? It was Mark Twain. I think that nobody can stand against laughter.
He does, but his base, I don't want to But his base, they don't even acknowledge that. They just look at the dear leader. And I think we need to, like Mark Carney, I think he's doing an amazing job.
Yes.
We need to take the lead from him. Joking, stop it now.
I think we should listen to a bit, because I know other people have played it out this week, but I should play a few bits of Mark Carney's speech as well today. It's a mystery hour at 12 o'clock, thank God. Trump shut up before 12 noon, Dave, so for that we can at least all be grateful. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I honestly, I'm not putting it on my list of predictions because, I'm a little wary of tainting the perfection of that list in recent years. But I would not be surprised if the Board of Peace deflates like a withered old balloon and we never hear of it again sooner rather than later.
But everything he's part of deflates like an old river balloon. Everything. And he just moves on to the next one.
Yes.
He just moves on and he keeps something's bigger and amazing. It's great. His casinos were amazing and great. His property empire, everything he touches is amazing and great. But when you just scratch a little bit below the surface, there's nothing there. There's no substance. All of it is just this, whatever you want to call it, imaginary scam or fake.
Keep moving forward. Keep blowing up new balloons. That balloon's withered. That balloon's blow up a new balloon. And what are we, 5 years in to 2 terms, and we still haven't got a clue. I remember getting despair when the New York Times and others would fail to call lies, and they'd call them untruth, and they'd defend it on the grounds that, well, maybe he didn't realise what he was saying was lying. I thought it doesn't matter, but we don't know what to do. The vocabulary, the toolbox is still inadequate. Do you want to put a date on it, Dave? Not a bet, just a date. When do you think we might reasonably report that we've heard no mention at all of the Board of Peace now for a month? When do you think?
April the 1st.
Mark in Belfast, hello.
Hi, Sheila.
How are you?
Good to talk to you, but I'm going to have to change you.
Go on.
Tony Blair should be nowhere near the Middle East. Tony Blair is a warmonger, an absolute thug of a man. I have no idea why you think he should be involved in peace building in the Middle East. Have you forgotten the devastation that America and their friends caused in the Middle East? Do you forget the we talk about not by the by. It's not by the by for many people. We'll talk about Trump's Board of Peace. Don't listen to what Trump says. He's asking, what is it, £1 billion for each country? And then what is it? Britain comes in and says, well, we're finding a bit of trouble asking Putin. Do you know Israel is actually on that board? The ones who turned Gaza into a slaughterhouse?
Yes, but if it's about the future of that region, it's no surprise that Israel is on the board, is it? It is a surprise to me that no Palestinian representatives are on the board. That shouldn't continue.
It does. That surprises you. You must be living in a cave, Sheila. That doesn't surprise me one bit.
Well, it shocks me.
Well, it shocked you, yeah. Well, it hasn't shocked me.
Okay.
Palestine will be nowhere near that board. It'll be Kushner and Tony Blair and all these other people. Israel turned Gaza, I've been watching this for 2 years, into a car park. Kids are going back to school now. There's no schools left in Gaza, no hospitals. They attacked every single aspect of human life in Gaza. The Palestinian people have suffered grievously. And to say that Israel is on this board... How should it be rebuilt,
in your view? Describe to me an alternative peace board in your image.
There needs to be certainly needs to be involvement from the world. And I think there's so many people willing to help.
But all of the people on it are of the world. What do you mean when you say the world?
Like who you talking about? There's no Europeans on it.
There are some.
Hungary, Tony Blair, Jared Kushner.
Yeah, but you're just telling me what you don't like. What you want to see.
I would like to see all of excluding Israel at the moment. Palestine.
Why would you exclude Israel? I mean, that makes no sense to exclude Israel. Any more than it makes sense. It doesn't make any sense to exclude Palestine either.
Well, Palestine is excluded. So exclude Israel. Israel is the problem in Gaza. And the West. I'm not letting the West off lightly here, Sheila. You've supplied Britain, France, Germany, America has supplied these. And the Israeli
Who supplied
government,
Hamas?
It certainly wasn't the West.
Yeah. Correct.
So I don't
Correct.
understand. I don't understand. I'm a Westerner. I'm living in Ireland and I'm a British subject, unfortunately. The reason that I find it so distasteful is that we helped it when the Israeli government was telling us there's no civilians in Gaza, no food, no water, no electricity. We still supplied them arms. I'm sitting at night at home in Belfast, listening to the appeals to send aid to the people of Gaza.
Mark, I hear your distress at what you've seen. We've all seen over the last couple of years. I don't share your reading of it entirely, but tell me this. All you've told me, and you're completely within your rights to do so, but all you've told me is no to this, and this. What would an alternative look like to you?
An alternative would for the first time in 90 years, to take the problems in the Middle East serious. Not every time there's a flare-up.
People have, Mark.
No, they don't. There's a flare-up. I got involved about the Palestinian people in 1981, a million years ago, when I found out that Israel had attacked a concentration camp that it turned into for Palestinian people.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to carry on the conversation if you call Gaza a concentration camp. It's so evidently not a concentration camp, and certainly not in 1981, and it never has been. Boy, is it in a state now, absolutely, of devastation, and the people of that area are suffering incomprehensibly, I'm sure, to many of us. But I'm just not going to tolerate it being described. I mean, you can fight with me if you like, but it's not a concentration camp.